Okay, moving on, item 7, Director's Report.
Okay. Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the board. Welcome to our new director, Director Hemminger. I wanted to have a few folks come up before I get into the number of items I wanted to cover. And first I want to ask Peter Albert, who is a well-known SFMTA alumni who you may recall was here a year ago with some students with whom he had been working, and is here again with yet another batch of new Muni experts.
Welcome back, Mr. Albert. We welcome
Thank you. Good afternoon, Vice President Borden, members of the board. My name is Peter Albert, and this is the second time I've been before you on this class that we have yet to figure out a really good name for, so maybe the students and I will figure it out, but I call it How to Ride Muni by Yourself. And the idea is this is a class that's geared for students who are, specifically for students who are going to be riding Muni by themselves to school. As many of you know, Muni is the school bus for a lot of San Francisco. But what we focus on are the walk to Muni and how it can be safe and how to be aware of your environment in the walk. And we focus on riding Muni itself, understanding that the station agents and the drivers are there to help you. There's safety tips and safety sort of awareness lessons we talk about. We talk about the courtesy that the students show other passengers. When they see an elderly person, a person with disabilities, a pregnant woman, they offer up the seats. These are kind of the things that make riding Muni the civilized and enjoyable experience. But also, I do want to focus on the word enjoyment, because there's been a lot of fun in this class about what it's like to ride Muni. So I'm only going to do the quick outline of what we did. I'm going to hand the microphone over to the students who will talk for themselves. But on 2 days, separated by a week, we first talked about the basics of the safety and the other aspects of feeling comfortable on Muni. We rode the 33 from the 826 Valencia site, so we're based out of 826 Valencia today. We rode it up to Church, caught the J Church, went up to the top of Dolores Park, walked back through the park, back to 826. So we sort of tested our sea legs on riding Muni. The next week, we went all the way into the metro. And we went all the way out to Forest Hill, and there's the ghost station, which you'll hear a little bit about, which is a lot of fun. But I'm going to stop talking because I do want to hand the microphone over to the students. First, you'll hear from Gabriela Trujillo, then you'll hear from her younger brother Max Trujillo, and then you'll hear from Viviana Suazo. So, Gabrielle.
Welcome.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for having me here today. My name is Gabriela Trujillo. I am 12 years old, and I attend Herbert Hoover Middle School. Today, I want to talk about my experience on Muni. A couple weeks ago, as a group, a couple of students, Kathleen, our moms, and Peter went together to learn how to ride Muni safely. And well, my experience was amazing. Not only did I get to see people using Muni as part of their everyday lives to get from place to place, but with some help from Peter, I learned how to understand the Muni map. I learned where the different Munis travel to and what the different letters and colors stand for. I learned to safely ride Muni and what to look for in order to stay safe. On the Muni bus to get to my school, I would need to ride the 48 Cantara, since I know it would leave me right in front. And for the underground Muni, I would need to take the El Terabao. Knowing the different Munis and their routes, not only could I make my way safely to my destination, but since San Francisco is a really touristic city, I could help people find their way throughout San Francisco. I want to give some special thanks to Peter and Kathleen for guiding us through the little trip that we had. And with this, I conclude my speech. Thank you so much for listening. Have an amazing rest of your day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me here today. My name is Maximiliano Trujillo. I will be going to 6th grade next year at San Francisco Friends School. The field trip about riding Muni was fun. I want to say that going on Muni can be fun, and it can also be an opportunity to explore new places in San Francisco. One example of this is that we went and got off at a station called Forest Hill. It was an old station, but it was interesting to see the architecture. Outside of the station was a little park in front of a big building. It was a little cold and misty, but it was nice and quiet. It was peaceful. You could hear the birds chirping. If you ever felt stressed, it felt like a good place to relax. Our tutor, Peter, said one day he felt stressed, so he took the train and ate his lunch there. I'd never seen the place before. Muni can also let you see beautiful scenery. For example, Dolores Park. The train passes by there, and you can see all of the downtown skyscrapers. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me in the Muni project. My name is Viviana. I'm going to turn 11 and go to 6th grade. The middle school that I'm going to is called Gateway Middle School. My favorite part when I went to the Muni project is when I went inside a subway to go to the GO station. It was spooky. I learned there was an actual station where people used to go get transported where they need to go. At that moment, I was completely speechless because when we passed through the station, I saw some actual paintings. Further on, I will use BART, subway, and a bus when I need to go to middle school. I really need to use some buses to get transported when I have permission to go by myself. I really like the Muni project because it taught me lots of things about safety, being polite, and how to get on and off from the buses. Thank you for having me in this Muni project.
Thank you very much.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the next generation of Muni riders. I'd be happy to take any questions, but it was just a pleasure to work with the students. And I do want to give a shout out to Paul. As always, Paul Rose helped us with making sure that the drivers and the other folks at Muni knew what we were doing and helped us feel welcome.
Bruce, do you have anything to contribute?
Just to say thank you so much, Mr. Albert. This is the second time you've come here with your students, and I know that it's just a great way to, as you said, get the next generation not only riding Muni, but caring about Muni and realizing how important it is to our city. So thank you. And kids, thank you so much. You all did a really good job. I'm so impressed. You're so poised and articulate at such a young age. That's just fantastic. I know your parents are going to be super proud of you when they watch you on SF Gov TV online.
I would second that.
And I want to say thank you all for sharing your experiences. We hope that the work we do makes Muni a great system for you to ride. So always feel free to reach out to us and let us know if there's anything we can do to make it easier for you and your classmates to get to school, make the experience more smooth. We are your directors, so we work for you. And I just want to thank Max, Gabriella, and Viviana for sharing your insights again. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Albert.
Thank you.
Thanks, Peter. And thank you all for being here. So now that we've heard from what maybe one of our future directors of Muni, I want to ask our current director of Muni to come forward to give you a monthly update on what she's doing to improve Muni.